As an army grows, the need for a system of organization and structure exponentially increases. Establishing a good structure allows for the army to properly allocate resources, duties, and responsibilities amongst its troops. This is no different for Caesar's Legion, our favorite band of Roman LARPing slavers. Members of the Legion fulfill a large variety of roles, from direct combat to leadership to diplomacy and even record keeping. Within these roles exists a clear and precise chain of command, based off a merit system. The more a legionary accomplishes, the better rank they will have. This is an oversimplification, of course, as outliers exist. However, more will be covered as we get deeper into the video. We'll be starting off with the lowest members of their primary military ranks, the recruit. Recruits are the backbone of the Legion, and the majority of their military force. Recruits are recent initiates from conquered lands and tribes that have completed recruit training and are either untested or lightly tested in battle. Due to being the lowest rank in the Legion, they are the most expendable of troops. That said, this does not mean they are weak. They must first survive Legion training after all. While not much is known about Legion training, a sheer beating and interrogation is referenced as child's play in comparison to Legion training by Silus, a captured Legion commander. This leads us to believe that Legion training is very arduous, and it's certain that only the tough will survive it. We can see this in-game, as recruit legionaries will have higher health and speed compared to the average NCR trooper. However, they will have lower health due to wearing inferior armor, being that of repurposed football gear. Legion recruits are often equipped with machetes and spears, as they must prove themselves with these rudimentary weapons before they can earn the right to use better force multipliers. That said, some recruits can be seen using basic firearms such as varmint rifles and various models of handguns. Once a recruit has proven themselves, they may be awarded the rank of Prime. Prime legionaries are warriors who have proven themselves in more than a few battles. The rank of Prime is directly above that of Recruit and is made up of recruits who have been promoted through merit or kids who were raised in the Legion and have proven themselves worthy of the rank. Prime legionaries have better armor and equipment and are fierce warriors, having given fully into Caesar's dogma. The armor they wear has a few upgrades to the recruit armor, but is mostly characterized through their crimson face coverings as well as the crimson balteus around their waist. They carry better weapons than that of recruits, such as rifles and carbines, and are typically stationed in larger Legion settlements as opposed to the smaller raiding camps. When a Prime Legionary has survived countless battles and shown they are a force to be reckoned with, they may be promoted to Veteran. Veteran Legionaries are battle-tested, ruthless warriors, having survived longer than most of their contemporaries. Not an easy feat for a Legionary. Veterans are equipped with better armor than that of Primes and can be discerned via the nails protruding from their shoulder pads, as well as the red stripe bisecting their helmets. They also use far superior weapons compared to that of the Prime Legionaries, often being seen using riot shotguns and assault carbines. When a Legionary shows great promise amongst their rank, they may be promoted to the rank of Decanus. The Decani are low-level officers in the Legion and can be found in the Recruit, Prime, and Veteran ranks. A Decani is first and foremost a squad leader, and is likely chosen from the ranks when a superior officer notices inherent leadership qualities within them. A Decanus will always wear the armor of their current rank and will also wear a feathered helmet, or in the case of my mods, a red vertical plume. The feathers can be seen representing his rank as well, with black and red representing the recruit, black with white tips representing a prime, and black, red, and white representing a veteran. The weapons of the Decani will also vary depending on the level, with recruits often using blades or handguns, while the veterans can be seen using sniper rifles and marksmanship carbines. When not commanding a contubernia, a Decanus is usually stationed with the Centurion and acts as his assistant and second in command. When a veteran Decanus has earned the right, he may be promoted to that of a Centurion. The Centurion is the most elite of the Legion's military forces, the best of the best, a thoroughly battle-tested and hardened soldier who has killed hundreds and enslaved hundreds more in Caesar's name. They are battlefield commanders and typically oversee several centuria, being made up of several contubernia. While they are frontline officers, most are kept away from conflict due to being a vital strategic resource for the Legion, and much too important to risk losing over small skirmishes. However, this is not always the case, as the Centurion Silus actively led raiding parties against the NCR alongside his troops, and numerous Centurions can be seen leading fire teams in the Second Battle of Hoover Dam. Centurions have by far the best weapons and equipment and are easily distinguished by their unique armor, having been pieced together from the various armors of their fallen foes. They carry the most advanced weapons available as well, such as anti-material rifles and marksmanship carbines. Centurions are by far the oldest and deadliest warriors in the entirety of the Legion. Once a Centurion has proven himself, and assuming a position is open, he may be promoted to that of Legget. A Legget is a general of the Legion. They are primarily responsible for leading large assaults on targets, devising and implementing strategies to defeat enemies, and conquering territories to further the Legion's goals and resources. Leggets sit at the top of the military ranks and answer only to Caesar himself. It is unknown how many Legates exist in the Legion, however we only get to see one active Legate during the events of New Vegas. It is likely there are more, however, as a percentage of Caesar's army would be needed to keep the peace in the eastern lands while the bulk of the Legion's forces are campaigning in the west. During the events of New Vegas, we get to see Legatus Linnaeus, Caesar's second-in-command, who is the toughest, meanest, most ruthless member of the entire Legion. He wears a custom suit of armor, fashioned in the likeness of Mars, the Roman god of war, and he carries a massive blade that can knock grown men and women off their feet and several yards away. It's likely that other Legates would not be nearly as tough and durable as Linnaeus though, as he is more of a symbol of the Legion's strength due to his trait of being an unrealistic man. This can be seen in the example of Joshua Graham, the last Legate who led the first battle of Hoover Dam. He was for all intents and purposes a normal guy, albeit tough as nails. It's likely that other Legates would be akin to Centurions, perhaps still donning their patchwork armor, or perhaps they have custom armor, such as the likes of Gaius Magnus, the head Centurion of Drywells. Legates would likely have the best weapons available at their disposal as well, possibly even energy weapons, although would probably never get to use them due to not finding themselves in an active war zone. Now on to the support ranks. This category exists in a type of gray area, as some of these legionaries perform combat roles, but it's unclear where they exist in the chain of command, such as the Vexillarius. A Legion Vexillarius is the standard bearer for the Legion, and acts as a morale booster for other battlefield troops. A standard is a war flag used by military forces when on land, and was used by militaries for generations, notably the Romans. They are seen in-game to have unique armor that sets them out from the other ranks. This armor appears to be that of Legion Prime armor, with the additions of plates on the chest, a wolf covering for their helmet, and the Legion banner atop their shoulders. This could possibly speak to their skill level, as well as time spent in the Legion. The weapons they carry are generally mid-tier firearms, such as hunting rifles, and they can occasionally be seen wielding machetes. The Vexillarius, who carry the bull into battle, are seen as a symbol of the Legion's strength to legionaries and their enemies alike. Because of this, the Vexillarius must be tougher and more proficient than their contemporaries so as not to tank the morale of the Legion by dying on the battlefield. Another example of a gray area in rank is that of an explorer. The Legion Explorer is an advanced scout whose primary responsibilities include but are not limited to land surveillance, notation of strategic centers, documentation of potential resources, and relaying of communications between the many Legion outposts. It's possible this rank is related to the Speculatores, but since in-game evidence implies that the Speculatores are made up by a Frumantari to manipulate the Great Khan leadership, I don't want to cover them individually. Rather, I will be lumping them into the Explorer role since they would serve a near-identical function. The Explorers wear Legion recruit armor with a few modifications, such as an extra duty belt and cloth headgear. Although the armor they wear appears to be more for the purposes of functionality and doesn't appear to be indicative of their skill or time within the Legion itself. The lighter armor is advantageous when moving quickly and quietly from location to location and would be of utmost importance to a scout. They are generally armed with spears and machetes, likely so that they can stay quiet while on their missions, but they are also seen carrying hunting rifles or repeaters, allowing them to dispatch threats from longer distances should the need arise. Moving on to a more mundane role, we have that of the guards. Guards appear to be chosen amongst any of the ranks and don't do much other than prevent people from carrying banned items into Legion-occupied areas, and returning said banned items should they leave those areas or should Caesar deem it necessary. Other than this, they are first to fight should an enemy infiltrate one of the gates. They are equipped with the appropriate armor and weapons of their earned rank and will be very upset if you refuse to give them your banned items. So don't choose holdout, okay? Within the forts these guards watch over, one can find Houndmasters. Houndmasters are the Legion's premier dog trainers, most hailing from the remnants of the Hand Dog tribe of Colorado. These former tribals viewed dogs as their spirit animals and spent their whole life around them. This led them to a natural advantage when training dogs for the Legion. It's not known if every Houndmaster was a former Hand Dog, but it's likely that there would be some non-Hand Dog members who picked up the craft in the time leading to the events of New Vegas. In game, we only get to meet a single Houndmaster. This legionary is known as Antony. His armor is that of a veteran legionary, however, it is not known if he is awarded this armor due to his role as a Houndmaster or if he achieved it through battle. It's likely he fought on the front lines with his hounds, and that is how he earned veteran status. Antony is not seen wielding a weapon when we encounter him at the fort, but it's likely he would not find the need to carry weapons as he is surrounded by Legion mongrels who are eager to rip anyone who threatens him to shreds. Speaking of mongrels, the mongrels of the Legion are an unidentified breed of post-war dog. Bred for battle by Legion Houndmasters, these dogs are seen accompanying legionaries in scouting parties and guarding key fortifications, such as Nelson and the fort. Legion mongrels are tougher than the average wasteland dog and more vicious in combat. They do not wear any armor and are not seen carrying any weapons, except the obvious teeth and claws. But that's okay, as they are deadly enough and efficient with these weapons. And while they work for what is largely considered an evil faction, they're all still good boys. A faction like the Legion wouldn't be complete without people to make their weapons. Introducing the Blacksmith. Blacksmiths are veteran legionaries that are primarily responsible for the creation, maintenance, and optimization of the Legion's armory. The Blacksmiths are found in heavily fortified war camps behind the front lines and not in other areas. They all appear in veteran Legion armor and typically brandish a machete or chainsaw should the need arise for them to cut someone down to size. Now let's not forget, a team is only as strong as its weakest link. This is why the Legion deploys instructors. Legion instructors are veteran legionaries in charge of preparing kids and captures to join the ranks of the Legion military. This helps to ensure that every individual who earns the title of recruit is strong enough to fight under the banner of the Bull. It's advantageous to have veterans assigned to this task, as they would be acutely aware of the physical, mental, and spiritual toughness an individual must have to survive life in the Legion. They use common motivation techniques such as comparing a recruit's performance to that of someone subpar, such as a slave, and threatening violence should the recruit not meet the demands of training. The instructors are equipped in veteran armor and brandish a whip on their belt, certainly for motivational reasons. One can be seen training future legionaries at the fort before the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, where he expresses his harshness on them, but also expresses that he is quite proud of their progress. But how do Legion forces get across the Colorado if the only bridge for miles is occupied by enemy forces? They use cursors. Cursors are ferrymen for the Legion forces along the Colorado River. It is unknown if this is common practice fulfilled by whoever is available, or if it's a designated role within the Legion's logistics. In-game, we only encounter a single cursor by the name of Lucullus. If he dies, then he is not replaced, which suggests that it is a specific role that is not easily filled. However, I would take this with a grain of salt, as it's likely just a gameplay mechanic and not sweet, succulent, juicy lore. Lucullus is seen in-game wearing Legion Explorer armor, which may indicate that the cursor position is usually filled by explorers. This would make sense, as they are accustomed to longer journeys and likely would be able to move through enemy-occupied territory with relative ease, and without alerting them, which is important. He is seen using a hunting rifle, likely to allow him to engage enemies on the cliffs as he is ferrying legionaries to and from the fort. One of the jobs of a cursor is to ferry captures from Cottonwood Cove to the fort to undergo their new lives as slaves. But who is in charge of these captures prior to that? The Legion Slave Master. A Slave Master is a role in the Legion dealing primarily with the assessment and dispersal of slaves. It's possible that there is an entire Slaver Guild support branch that deals with acquisition, although the only mention of something along these lines is in a single bill of sale we find in Novak, referencing the Offices of Slavery. The only slave master we meet is a legionnaire by the name of Canyon Runner. Canyon Runner is equipped with Legion Explorer armor and carries a machete gladius. He is not usually seen using firearms, but may pick one up if he finds himself in need of a greater force multiplier. It's likely that Legion slave masters rarely see battle due to their position being largely administrative, and as such do not require heavier armors and weapons, such as that of the veterans. On the contrary, they may be primarily tasked with trapping and escorting slaves to a fortified area. The in-game evidence doesn't make it clear, unfortunately. However, I do believe this is to be the case. This is supported by the existence of the consul rank. Not much is known of the consul rank except that they are a position within the aforementioned offices of slavery. The only example of one we see in game isn't even a character, rather the signature of an M. Licinius Crassus on a bill of sale. It appears that this position only deals with paperwork in regards to buying and selling slaves and not actual acquisition itself. This leads me to believe that the consul is above the slave master in the chain of command and as such would be an isolated administration position, implying that the slave masters do more than just buy, sell, and assess slaves. They probably go out and capture them as well. This would explain why we find Canyon Runner donning Legion Explorer armor. As for the consul, we cannot discern the experience level of this legionary due to the lack of in-game evidence nor the kit they battle with, although it can be assumed that they are superb warriors, as the pen is mightier than the sword. I would like to bring up a new rank for consideration. This rank is never officially stated to be amongst the support roles within the Legion, however there is a clear example of this role in action. At the Legion safe house there is a legionary who stops by every few days known as Atticus. Atticus is a veteran legionary who primarily maintains the stock within this safe house, such as food and medical supplies for the Legion forces that pass through. He also maintains weapons and armors in the safe house so that they can be distributed to the Legion forces upon their arrival should the need arise. Atticus is equipped with veteran armor and usually wields a machete or a chainsaw. It's not clear if every quartermaster is a veteran, although it's probable they would be, as it appears that most of these support roles are filled with experienced legionaries. We can see another unusual rank upon entering the inner ring of the fort, the Arena Master. The Arena Master is a legionary who is in charge of their gladiatorial combat arenas. This includes, but is not limited to, outfitting the gladiators, storing their equipment during a duel, setting up matches, and being impressed when you totally body an NCR Ranger. While it is unclear if an Arena Master is a common rank amongst the Legion, it can be assumed that it's somewhat common in larger, long-term encampments, although that is conjecture on my part. The Legionaries are warriors and uphold a warrior culture. Having an arena set aside for troops to test their mettle or try out for a certain team, such as the Praetorian Guard, would be expected of a culture such as this. The only Arena Master we see in New Vegas is a legionary named Otho at the fort. He is a veteran legionary and will be seen wearing veteran armor and wielding a rifle, shotgun, or machete. Now on to what I call the very special ranks. Let's begin with the Legion hit squads, Assassins. Assassins are a special task force that are created when an enemy of Caesar is targeted for dispatch. They appear to be chosen based on ability and not necessarily rank, as each task force is comprised of several legionaries with varying levels of experience, most of which are pulled directly from the infantry. However, sometimes they can include less combat-oriented ranks such as Praetorian Guards or Vexillarius. These squads are equipped with their rank-specific armors and are heavily armed, more so than the standard infantry ranks. They are seen to carry advanced weaponry such as marksmanship carbines, super sledges, and explosives like C4. These squads make even the toughest of wasteland cowboys wary of Caesar's wrath. While assassins may be phenomenal warriors amongst the Legion, they don't hold a Pip-Boy light to the Praetorians. The Praetorian Guard are the pinnacle of the Legion's ideals. Chosen by Caesar himself, each Praetorian is killed and conquered enough to be granted the rank of Centurion. The Praetorians are masters of hand-to-hand combat, and nothing showcases this better than their tryouts. After being chosen by Caesar, a Praetorian candidate must choose a current Praetorian he thinks is weakest, and challenge him to a one-on-one duel to the death, completely unarmed. If he survives, only then can he join Caesar's Praetorian Guard. This ensures that Caesar's Guard are always made up of the toughest individuals in the Legion, and that they never become complacent, lest they are challenged by one of Caesar's chosen. The Praetorian Guard uniform is stripped back to the basics, being similar to a recruit uniform, and dons a crimson cape that covers the upper chest and back of the guardsmen. This lack of armor is not a hindrance, however, and adds to their speed and maneuverability, as the Praetorian Guards primarily operate in close quarters and must be able to close the distance on their target quickly and efficiently. Their primary choice of weapons are ballistic fists, which greatly enhance their punching power, a natural choice for master hand-to-hand combatants. That said, they can be seen using carbines and submachine guns in the event they are chosen for a hit squad. Now, legionaries who show exceptional skill may be selected to join the ranks of the Frumantari. The Frumantari are the spies and deep cover operatives of the Legion. This is a unique role in that it's completely removed from the standard rank and file of the Legion military. Not to mention, its entire existence defies the foundational Legion principles. The idea of the Frumantari is to be flexible, adaptable, and loyal to the orders of Caesar, so much so that they can infiltrate enemy positions and pose as allies for years without becoming corrupted by their ideology. Frumantaris are masters of infiltration, diversion, demoralization, and sabotage. Each Frumantari is selected from the military ranks for their ability to think outside the box in a manner that best serves the Legion. While this may cause them to disobey direct orders, such as in the case of Vulpes and Colta, who, in a battle as an acting decanus, broke rank to lead his men through a hole in the enemy defenses to capture their chieftain. Caesar spared him from crucifixion because Caesar only cares about one thing: victory. Due to their special nature, Frumantari are never seen wearing a standardized armor amongst themselves, only wearing whatever armor best serves their mission, such as Vexillarius armor when Vulpes conducted the lottery massacre in Nipton, or NCR armor as worn by Captain Curtis, who is deep undercover at Camp McCarran, or regular clothes in the case of caravanners and couriers. There isn't a specific grade of weapon they use either, for the same reasons there isn't a standard armor. Each weapon will depend on the mission at hand, and they equip accordingly. And now, the top dog himself, Caesar. While most of us know Caesar as the man, in all actuality, Caesar is the title. Should our current Caesar die, the next legionary in line will take his place, becoming the new Caesar, and will be referred to as such by the Legion. Caesar is the man in charge, he who makes the rules and he who breaks the rules. Because the Legion is a slave army, every man, woman, and child within the Legion organization is a slave of Caesar himself. The position of Caesar is a position of dictator. One's accomplishments matter not for achieving this rank, as a Caesar chooses his heir based on who he deems fit to fill his shoes. Our current Caesar, Edward Sallow, chooses Legatus Linnaeus to be his heir, although Linnaeus is stated as having no loyalty to the Legion and only loyalty to Caesar himself. Linnaeus is likely chosen because he is the face of the Legion, its strength, the myth that would unify it after Caesar's passing. I mean, the man literally wears a suit of armor that was crafted after the image of their god. Like, come on. If anyone could hold them together, it's him. Anyways, Caesar's role seems to primarily be that of creator, idealist, and delegator. He determines everything from what and where he wants to conquer next, to what the Legion wears to battle, to how their currency is printed, to their religion, food they eat, wives they get, pleasures they can or cannot enjoy, etc. I think you get the point. He is the god of this bubble he exists in. Caesar doesn't wear any armor, however he does have a unique variant of Legion clothing. This is primarily composed of a long crimson tunic, fastened with a weightlifting belt and covered in wolf fur, donning a big golden brooch with an X at the center. It's interesting to note that Caesar wears cut-off pants under his tunic, and is the only person in the entire Legion to do so. No skirts for this guy. He equips himself with the displacer glove at all times, likely to grant him the opportunity to defend himself should an assassination attempt take place. Although the horde of Praetorian guards and Legion mongrels surrounding him would rip an enemy to atoms before he could even stand from his throne. Nevertheless, it pays to be cautious. The Legion is truly impressive in its scale and efficiency, as shown in this list. Their logistics are undeniably solid, and it's such a shame that they had so much content cut from this game. I can only imagine the depth and scale this faction would have had if the development team would have had a normal development cycle. Anyways, if you like this video and want to see more like it, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel as I release Fallout lore videos bi-weekly. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, voile, amicus.